vous allez bien? Alors aujourd'hui, on se retrouve en début de podcast. Aujourd'hui, j'accueille Kawtar. Elle va nous partager son vécu et ses expériences. Et j'espère que cette discussion vous aidera autant qu'elle m'a aidé. De plus, pour ce podcast, je suis sortie de ma zone de confort et je vous invite à faire de même. Parce que le podcast est principalement en anglais. J'espère que ça va vous plaire. Je vous embrasse très fort. Bisous, c'était Zizou. Coucou tout le monde. Alors aujourd'hui, on se retrouve pour le 4e épisode de Growin avec Kawtar. Kawtar, comment ça va?
Hey, très très bien, et toi?
Ça va, super. Alors, est-ce que tu pourrais te présenter pour ceux qui ne te connaissent pas?
Oui, alors moi c'est Kawtar. Je suis en 4e année d'études à l'ESSEC et currently I'm in Morocco. I'm doing my studies online. I love to write, I love to sing, I love music, I love to meet new people, I love sharing stories, photography, art, anything about the creative world. Et love learning new things. Donc voilà.
Est-ce que tu te serais imaginé à 18 ans en être là aujourd'hui?
À 18 ans, I didn't project myself in the future. No, no, no. To keep it short, no. The long answer is when I was 18, I just had a very different. I was in a different place with myself. I had different priorities. I had a different perspective on what meaning was to me. And so in that way, I changed a lot. After my first year of university, I went through this existential crisis, and that's where I think a sort of awakening happened, and I started kind of dismantling what I thought was true of my identity and trying to experience life in different ways. And to be more aware of that, I think at 18 I was more or less irresponsible when it came to certain ways of acting, of being, of speaking. A little bit too confident maybe sometimes. It's just life really humbles you. That's the biggest takeaway I've had since I'm 18. Just it's been a humbling ride. The more you learn, the more you know that you don't know, and the more you're okay with that. You just appreciate all that comes your way, and you're more open to what you encounter. So voilà, it's been cool.
Je trouve ça hyper assez, comment dire, c'est assez spirituel comme façon de voir les choses parce que, tu vois, pour toi, enfin, c'est pas une vérité générale, je pense que life humbles you, mais ça a été ta propre expérience et ta propre vérité. Du coup, je trouve ça assez impressionnant déjà, surtout à un âge aussi jeune en fait, tu vois. Et je comprends totalement ta vision et en tout cas bravo parce que... Bravo. Et du coup, c'est quoi les expériences qui t'ont humble? Est-ce que tu pourrais en partager une avec nous par exemple? Ou t'en as pas en tête comme tu veux?
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think. Everything, actually, everything. Once you realize how small you are in the cosmos, how really tiny you are, everything is a humbling experience when you keep an open mind and you are non-judgmental of what surrounds you. You realize en fait que everything is a learning experience if you choose it to be one. If a child of 5 years old can come and teach you something as much as someone of 80 years old. A tree moving, if you look at it in a certain way, you can learn something about it. And it's humbling parce que, or when you work out, for example, you humble yourself parce que you realize, okay, genre, I don't have as much control over my body. I don't have that I could have, or there's always someone that's going to be better than you, smarter than you, qualities better than yours. Mais actually, there's no better or worse. Mais en fait, faut juste, when you realize of your equality and how small you are après in proportion to the universe, it's just like yep, I mean, I'm gonna die one day. Je sais pas, just ride with it. Just you're the same as everyone else. Just ride with it.
Et du coup, qu'est-ce qui a provoqué cette crise existentielle et qui t'a un peu changé en un sens, je pense?
Je sais pas, actually. I think since a young age I questioned life a lot and the society I'm in, and curious to know about how people live and why people live the way they do. Kind of like a deep thinker. Mais at 18, it was just... Prior to 18 years old, it was always... I had those reflections, but I didn't feel anxious about them. But at 18 years old, for some reason, it was just like lots of anxiety. It was just not a positive thing. Je sais pas what triggered. I guess maybe teenagers go through that. It's a phase that you go through in that period of time. Questioning your religious beliefs, questioning what your purpose in life is. What am I doing? What am I here for? I think if you consider yourself to be a spiritual being, then you would consider that to be your spiritual awakening. To me, that's how I took it. Après, I was like, okay, I went through my spiritual awakening at 18, because I've already been spiritual prior to that. I guess that was the moment was like, you're ready to bloom now. Mais ouais, I think it's just something that happens in time, and the more mature you get, the more... And I guess the more open-minded you are, you start just questioning things around you. It's a good thing.
Mais tu vois, je trouve qu'il y a... Quand tu nous racontes un peu your journey, tu vois, je trouve qu'il y a certaines choses qui remontent un peu à ton enfance et vraiment à ta personnalité, tu vois. C'est vraiment... Ça se reflète vraiment avec tes traits de personnalité, et même peut-être à ton éducation, que ce soit même à l'école ou même par tes parents, tu vois. Et du coup, comment tu définirais ton éducation et qu'est-ce qui... Aussi, en fait, les expériences qu'on vit en étant jeune définissent clairement qui on est aujourd'hui, tu vois. Du coup, comment tu ferais le lien entre un peu ta crise existentielle et ce qui t'a défini en tant que personne?
Il
y a beaucoup de questions, je suis désolée.
Non. En fait, I'm trying to find the link between the existential crisis and my education. But actually, the existential crisis was something completely detached from my education. But in my education, I was always given the space to... I've never been imposed a certain way of practicing religion, for example. I've always had that kind of... freedom, like we are religious in the family, but it's not like you have to do this, and it's the way religion is approached is from a place of love and acceptance, and if you can't pray 5 times a day, it's okay, you may have that faith, and that's the way I was brought up. And I've always really been into music, et gnawa pour moi, and le lien entre la spiritualité is always something that's I resonated with a lot, and the culture of you see women sometimes it can be scary for people. They can get in a state of trance, but it's always been so captivating for me, and in that way maybe it's linked to my spirituality. I was also always interested in things like Yom al-Qiyamah. What is that? It's just so intriguing for me to know about religion, et après initially Islam. My grandparents were open to educate us about stories, and it's just been lots of cool knowledge. I guess that must have played a role in the way that I identify myself as a spiritual being.
Ok. Là, on va un peu bouger de sujet, mais on n'a pas parlé du choix de ton orientation. Du coup, comment on voit vraiment le côté assez artiste en toi, le spirituel aussi, et tes études, je pense que c'est pas réellement lié, mais comme tu m'as expliqué tout à l'heure, ça l'est. Du coup, comment tu as choisi ton orientation?
Ok, it's quite a funny story parce que initially I was looking for universities. I didn't know where to go, what to do. I went to this guy to help me apply to schools. Yeah, I was kind of having a stressful time parce que from one side, I didn't want to do business and because I wanted to do music. My mom was telling me, do whatever you want to do. And on the other side, it was like, it doesn't seem so secure of studies to pursue. What do you do? So initially I wanted to do music, mais après I just oriented myself towards business parce que I was like, okay, if music isn't secure, then what am I good at? Well, I'm good at public speaking. I'm good at anything related to communication, talking. Okay, having a communication degree is cool. Communication is part of business, so you know what? I'll give business a try. We'll see, there's marketing, so I guess, just trying to look at the positive side of things and be like, okay, this might be good. It's okay, give it a try. And I was applying to schools with this man that was helping me apply. There's some kind of, how do we call them? Genre, il y a these little, je sais pas comment les appeler, c'est des departments that help you apply to universities and take charge of the whole process. Ouais. But de base, I was applying to schools in Canada and such, and they helped me apply to these. At the end, they actually did such a horrible job. They did not end up sending my applications in the right due dates. Et l'ESSEC Buehda is the only school that I applied to alone.
Et c'est ouf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alors, c'est vraiment une destinée. Quoi.
It was crazy. I applied to ESSEC. And I remember applying, a friend had told me, qui était à Victor Hugo d'ailleurs, ESSEC is a great school, you can apply there, and that's how I started applying. I stopped for some reason at a certain point. And like there's this man that reaches out to me called Arnaud from ESSEC. He was kind of a delegate or something of ESSEC. And he was like, hey, we saw that you started your application, are you going to continue with it? And then I was like, okay. It was like, okay, if you need anything, I'm here. The deadline was short. I did everything super fast. Anyways, long story short, I ended up making it to the second, got accepted, and it was just pure كتوب. Pour le coup, that was really, really, that was funny. That was funny. Mais ouais, that's how it happened. Et that's it. Since then, been studying business.
C'est trop cool. Yes. Bah, tu sais, en fait, c'est drôle parce que je me retrouve un peu dans ce que tu dis. Parce que je voulais pas du tout partir en France de base. Parce qu'on a, même si j'étais à l'école française, tu vois, on a un peu l'idée de la France. C'est assez. Pas dans le sens où t'as pas les mêmes opportunités selon la ville. T'as baigné toute ta vie dans l'école française. T'as envie d'apprendre de nouvelles choses, etc. Et du coup, j'ai. Apply juste à Paris et j'ai apply juste pour trois écoles, tu vois. Et j'ai été acceptée pour l'entretien pour une seule école d'archi et j'ai été acceptée et j'avais aucun plan B. J'avais que ça.
That's crazy.
Tu vois comme quoi les choses elles arrivent toutes seules et c'est super. Mais tu vois en fait je trouve ça super intéressant parce que du coup toi tu étais à l'école américaine, si c'est tranquille si je le dis, et moi j'étais à l'école française et tu vois dans l'éducation nous c'est très strict, c'est pas du tout libre, c'est très voilà, il n'y a pas le droit à la créativité, l'art plastique on a 1 heure par semaine, des projets, il n'y a pas réellement de projets, alors que je trouve qu'en fait dans ta manière de voir les choses c'est beaucoup plus libre, tu te mets pas vraiment de fausses croyances à la fois dans ton éducation chez toi je pense, mais à la fois aussi dans l'éducation à l'école et je trouve ça plutôt ouf. Et est-ce que toi tu le remarques dans les gens que tu rencontres?
C'est vrai que when you think of the French system compared to the American system, you see que in the American system en fait the relationship déjà que you have with the teacher is quite an informal one. You can be friends with the teacher and the teacher encourages you to really dive into what you like and what you don't like. Et since also all our teachers were international, it kind of already put you in a place where you open your mind to other cultures even more than just being part of an American school. You you interact with the teachers from all over the world, really. Et of course, it has an effect on the way you are. Mais après, you can also find people from the study of the American school that didn't develop such an open mind towards other cultures, and that may go out of Morocco to study, but that don't integrate the country or the city they're in as much as they could. And après, it's a matter of how willing you are to go into the unknown and just get out of your comfort zone.
Clairement. Je trouve ça vraiment intéressant. Mais d'ailleurs, est-ce que du coup, t'es passé du système américain? Est-ce que l'ESSEC, c'est un système français ou pas?
Oui, c'est un système français, but I'm part of the BBA et il y a the anglophone section and the francophone section. Yeah, so I study in English.
C'est super. Yeah. Et quand t'es arrivée à Paris, ça a été quoi ton expérience étudiante?
C'était incroyable. Honestly, it's so great. Bon, après, l'ESSEC, c'est à Cergy. Donc, when I arrived from Marrakech to Cergy, I was from the airport to Cergy in the car. I was asleep, so I wasn't seeing what was around me. I wake up and I'm like, yo, I'm in a village, there's no one out here, so what the hell? I did not sign up for this! En plus, l'ESSEC, they don't, like, tell you you're going to be in Cergy and it's kind of separated from the city life. They give you the impression that Cergy is really close to Paris because the city life. Yes, I'm so excited. En plus, at 18, I was just like, yes, Paris. No, mais it was just like a slap in the face. Like, girl, no. Mais actually, today, limite, I prefer Cergy more than Paris, mais I love them both equally parce que there's so much nature in Cergy. Ça, c'est magnifique. You really breathe. And Paris, the fast life, it's very stressful. But Paris, it's so great. It's like you go from one arrondissement to another one, and it's like traveling from one country to another. You just find such different cultures in the city itself. People dress differently, listening to different music, just a whole different vibes all over the place. And that's what I love about Paris. You see just how you can walk around and you listen to music, someone playing the guitar, performing, or people having a dance course, dancing together, or just an exhibition happening that you can go and see, and just meeting people from all over the world. I loved it. I really, really did.
Super. Bon, maintenant, avec ce qui se passe actuellement, c'est vraiment triste. Mais on espère retrouver cette ville un jour, peut-être. Mais bon. Et d'ailleurs, tu vois, sachant que tu étais dans la section anglophone, est-ce que tu t'es sentie en tant qu'étrangère en France, ou est-ce que pas du tout, t'as pas du tout eu ce sentiment?
Non, pas du tout. Parce que déjà, in the BBA program, it's so international. Donc, you're part of a very diverse community. Once again, people from all over the world.
C'est super.
C'est vraiment magnifique. Et aussi Paris in itself, it's very international. So I never felt
tu vois, c'est ça qui est fou, c'est que toi, t'as vraiment eu cette sensation avec ton orientation, tu vois, alors que moi, pas du tout, Zema. Déjà, tout ce que dans mon école, c'est très français, très très français, mais il y a une part d'étrangers, et principalement des lycées français à l'étranger, mais principalement marocains. Du coup, il y a une vraie communauté marocaine très présente, mais sinon il n'y a pas tant de internationals que ça. Mais bon, parce que je suis en école privée, en école publique, tu vois. C'est ça le truc. Mais
so interesting. Ouais. The thing I couldn't relate to when I got to ESSEC, because the French system and culture was the kind of alien to me. It's the association culture et the things that are like what are they called?
Les deux?
Les deux.
Ouais.
Yeah, exactly. And this whole, also the drinking culture in the French schools, I was just not resonating with that. It's just observing, fascinated by how different things are, really. Yeah.
Mais c'est drôle parce que tu sais, genre sachant que j'ai toujours été à l'école française, pour moi, je pensais pas qu'il allait avoir une rupture, tu vois. Pour moi, ce qui était à l'école, c'est ce qui allait être la suite, même si j'étais à Marrakech. Mais alors que c'est un monde différent et on s'en rend pas
Mhm.
vraiment compte.
Mhm.
Mais c'était plutôt intéressant. Vraiment. Et du coup, tu m'as dit que tu as fait 2 échanges, un à Singapour et un à Barcelone.
Yes.
Comment c'était? Qu'est-ce que tu en as pensé?
Incroyable. Après, I think depending on your age and where you were at life, you experience different things as well. At Singapore, I was with my friends, and in that way, I didn't meet that many new. I did meet new people, but it wasn't like just going out there alone and discovering the city for yourself. And I had also a friend that already lived in Singapore, so he showed me around. And that's an advantage actually, parce que you feel like you have a guide with you and you're really discovering the sweet spots of Singapore. And it's so rich also. Et, just amazing, like everything really, once again very different, and it's a great thing. You learn a lot about how people behave, what is accepted, the norm, about how different things are in terms of religion, practices, gender equality, how families are with one another. I was surprised to see que les femmes à Singapour, they have lots of authority over their partners. Et there's not much affection que I saw non plus. People in relationships there. Donc c'est des trucs where it's like, damn. There was this one night where I was ordering McDonald's there. This was one thing I enjoyed in Singapore. It was like, there's Mac delivery here? Wow! Parce que en France, you didn't have Mac delivery, and in Morocco either. But yeah, I was ordering it and I was just waiting for the food downstairs. And I hear this girl that's yelling at her boyfriend so hard. And he was yelling like, give me my phone! Give me my phone! And she was just like yelling at him. I was just like, damn girl. Shh, that's crazy. Or this girl that slapped her partner in the metro. It's funny to talk about it, but it's also just like, wow. Stuff is different, yeah.
C'est ouf.
Ouais, mais magnifique. I was able to travel to Bali. That was really great as well. And just had a really fun time with my friends mostly, and discovering the city with them. Après, in Barcelona, that was really something. Déjà, I was there in February, et so it was right before the COVID came through, confinement, and I went there already excited because the first time I traveled to Barcelona, I actually manifested it to the universe. I was like, I'm gonna come back here one day and I'm gonna live here. I'm coming back. Et du coup, I did end up coming back. And so I was already very, very happy and comfortable being there because it was like a second home to me. It felt like the weather is so beautiful, the people are so welcoming and open, and everyone is just super chill. Et aussi, it reminds you of Morocco a little bit, so it was nice. It felt familiar and comfortable in that way. Après, the difference between Barcelona and Singapore, c'est qu'à Barcelone, I was alone. I didn't have friends around, and I don't have a problem with that. So I met such great people in different ways, and I discovered deeper parts of myself. I developed myself more and got to focus on music during the confinement, on just self-development really, and yeah, just met really beautiful people, really, really beautiful souls that I will forever cherish in my little soul. Yeah, I hold such a great souvenir of Barcelona.
C'est trop chaud. Du coup, tu as passé le confinement toute seule à Barcelone. Et comment en fait tu as vécu cette période puisque ça a été vraiment compliqué. Et je sais pas comment ça a été déconfiné, à quel moment ça a été déconfiné en Espagne, mais comment tu as vécu cette période?
Okay, well, fortunately for me, I lived it in a very positive way. Après, I also had a beautiful apartment I lived in. I had a beautiful balcony, a great view. So that allowed me to have a positive experience as well parce que I didn't feel like there was no sunlight coming in or that I was too caved in. I didn't feel completely isolated from the world. It was a great experience for me parce que déjà, luckily, my parents were financing everything. And I was already wanting to discover certain parts of myself prior Barcelona. Having, I think when you have a growth mindset and you're willing to learn out of any opportunity, when you find yourself alone, you take it as a moment where you can discover new things and cultivate new parts of yourself. Donc it was just the kind of thing where I'd wake up, I'd write a plan of what I'd do during the day in relation to what I wanted to progress in and study at the same time. Yeah, my days were full. Après, you have good days, bad days as well. Mais you stick with yourself, you get to know yourself, and you love yourself through it all. In May, we were able to go out again, if I remember properly. That was nice. Mais when you get too used to being alone, it did, for me at least, it created a difficulty in socializing with others because, especially when you feel like you've changed in a way and people come back in your life that were part of your past, you can't seem to kind of integrate back into that way of being anymore, way of thinking, and it creates this weird, it puts you in a weird mental space. And to me, the beginning, it was just, honestly, it was just awkward for the most time, and yeah, but then you break through it. Well, the more you interact with people and get out there, it's just, you breathe in, breathe out, and you kind of crack that shell that you were in, and it feels good to once again be with people. It feels really good to exchange, interact. Après, I wasn't completely alienated either. As I told you, I met beautiful people after the COVID and shared such powerful, deep, enriching experiences with them. Also was able to be a singer, got a job as a singer in Barcelona after the COVID. That was really, really cool. Yeah, I was a performer in different restaurants, so that was really something. But in time, yeah, you get back to being fully social. It's kind of just like a little mental shock, but you get used to it.
Ce que je trouve ouf, c'est que t'as pas en fait mis tes passions de côté pour tes études et t'as continué à les vivre. Et on dirait pas que. Enfin, on sent que tu regrettes pas du tout d'avoir fait ce choix d'études, mais t'as continué en fait à aimer ta passion et à la faire grandir, tu vois. Et comme tu nous dis, t'as été une chanteuse et c'était super. Et comment ça s'est passé? Raconte-nous, c'est trop intéressant. Surtout, tu te dis en tant qu'étudiant, comment tu te donnes cette opportunité? Je t'ai vraiment créé l'opportunité, t'es sorti de ta zone de confort parce que genre perform devant des gens, c'est quelque chose. C'est ouf.
Oui, bah...
Comment t'as vécu ça?
Thanks, that's really sweet. As I said, I've been into public speaking when I was in high school. I was really recognized for that, actually. So when it came to speaking in front of an audience, it wasn't, or singing, it wasn't of much difficulty for me. It was something I've practiced enough to kind of be comfortable with at a point. Mais au début, it was difficult. I used to get shaky and stuff. Et pendant le confinement, I was just really focusing on music and having a vision of myself in my head, performing and singing. And really, the more attention you place on something, the more the universe just kind of hands you little gifts that, je sais pas, little green lights, like, okay, ding here for you to continue going on this path. What happened was that one day I was out walking in Barcelona alone by the beach. At a point I sit on a bench and I was reading a little book. I hear to my right in this restaurant, this was right after the confinement was over. To my right in a restaurant, I hear music and I can notice que it's live music. So there's someone singing there, and it's a beautiful restaurant right by the beach, en vue sur la plage. And I was just like, wow, that's a beautiful location. Et du coup, I look and I see justement, yes, there was a man singing, and so I walked towards the restaurant and I wanted to sit inside and then ask to sing, and I go in. And then the waitress tells me it's full, you can't come in. Like, okay. So I stay standing there and I see people are in a great mood listening to the music, drinking cocktails, just the sun is out, just really happiness, really lots of happiness. And I just stand there and I look at Lexter singing and performing, and I look and I just visualize myself singing there. I just visualize, like, I'm gonna come back one day. I'm going to come back one day. So one day I was at the beach with my friends. And I hear again at the restaurant the guy singing. And I just tell my friends, hey, I'm going to go sing. And I go running to the restaurant. And this time it was open. And I just go straight to the performer. And I tell him, hey, can I sing a song? And he tells me, sure, where are you sitting in the restaurant? I'm like, no, actually, I don't have a table here. He's like, oh, then where did you come from? I was like, I was at the beach with my friends. He's like, okay, what's your name? Kawtar, what do you want to sing? Crazy. Okay, cool. And then we just organize it real quick. And then I start singing. The thing is, they weren't allowed to have apparemment performers during that time in COVID. So if the police came, you had to hide. The performers had to hide. So I would be singing, and it was such a great mood, and the song is groovy as well. Crazy on the knee. So it's really cool. Yeah. And the cops start coming in, so we had to slow down the song. Lexter was telling me, hide. So I go hide. It was just a really, really fun scene. By the end of it, Lexter tells me, okay, what's your name? How old are you? Would you be down to come back again to kind of audition to be part of our agency and start singing? I'm like, yeah, I would love that.
Mais qu'est-ce que ça... En fait, je trouve que quand tu te crées une opportunité et tu te dis I can do it, tu vois, j'ai l'impression qu'il n'y a plus rien qui te retient. Quand tu as envie de faire quelque chose, c'est bon. La peur qu'on t'inculque, elle disparaît parce que tu t'es créé une opportunité et tu sais que tu peux y arriver. Et je trouve ça...
Exactly what you said about fear. Pour moi, en fait, c'est sûr que it's when you live from a place of love, the world suddenly becomes your home wherever you are. You don't set yourself any type of limit whatsoever. It's just, that's it. Everything becomes part of you, and you become part of everything, and you're just connected to everything. So there's no fear in your heart. And when you're also aware of your mortality, it's like, what will I lose? What am I gonna lose if I do this? So the fear, it's just your ego just talking to you and talking nonsense most of the time. So you have to not listen to that critical voice inside your head that's just like, you can't do this. Who do you think you are? People are gonna judge you. No, that's really just bullshit. Just fucking just share, just love. And if your intention, I think, comes from a good place, then magical things can happen.
C'est sûr, mais en fait, je suis vraiment impressionnée parce que c'est vraiment, genre, ce qu'on est en train de dire maintenant, c'est vraiment le message général que j'ai envie de donner aux gens dans ce podcast, c'est que rien ne vous arrête pour réaliser vos rêves à part vous-même. Et ça, c'est sûr, ni argent, ni temps, tout est possible. faut juste s'en donner les moyens. Mais du coup,
100%.
après... Ah, pardon, je t'ai coupé, mais après cette expérience, qu'est-ce qui a changé pour toi? Est-ce que tu as eu un déclic? Est-ce que ça t'a changé les choses? Est-ce que ça t'a ouvert d'autres horizons?
I think the mindset que I developed avant ça, and I think que my curious and open mind has helped me a lot in discovering new things and learning a lot, has helped me live great experiences in life. Donc je pense que it's just the mindset really that counts. Et après things open up to you. It's not the experience in itself, it's the mindset you develop that creates the experience.
J'ai jamais vu ça comme ça, en fait, je viens de réaliser. Mais c'est sûr, en fait. Parce que si t'as pas le mindset pour, tu vas jamais le faire. Et du coup, c'est toi, en tant que personne, comment tu grandis, qui crée tes propres expériences. C'est super, bravo en tout cas. Je suis vraiment impressionnée. Et en fait, ce que je trouve aussi hyper sensible, enfin, dans l'expression, c'est que je pense que tous nos auditeurs et auditrices vont sentir en fait tous les sentiments qu'on a ressentis pendant cette discussion, et je trouve ça ouf.
Ouais, moi aussi. J'espère qu'ils vont comprendre un peu avec le mélange français-anglais.
Non, t'inquiète.
I hope it's all good.
Non, mais c'est l'occasion, si vous voulez, comment dire, améliorer votre anglais, c'est l'occasion, surtout qu'on comprend très bien, c'est très distinct et c'est très simple à comprendre. Et c'est l'occasion d'ailleurs, et c'est hyper important aujourd'hui d'être même pas bilingue, trilingue ou même polyglotte. Mais d'ailleurs, est-ce que tu as appris à parler espagnol ou pas?
Bah écoute, since it was during the confinement, I didn't really have much exposure. Ouais, but un poquito, tú sabes, podemos hablar.
Tu sais, j'adore l'espagnol. Je trouve que c'est une langue tellement vivante, ça te donne envie de danser.
I agree. And it's so
bien.
sensual too. It's just, there's so much texture to it. I love it. I really do.
Ouais. Mais tu sais, cette année, j'étais censée passer 1 an à Mexico. Mais Covid. Et du coup, j'y suis pas allée. Mais tu sais, ce qui est drôle, c'est que je suis pas... c'est pas grave, je me dis que c'était pas l'occasion. Je ne sais pas ce qui me serait arrivé ou pas arrivé. Mais en tout cas, tu vois, ça m'a donné d'autres opportunités. Justement, genre, en parlant du Covid, et ce qui a changé pour moi déjà, c'est de ne pas partir au Mexique. Le fait de ne pas partir au Mexique, ça a fait que je me suis vraiment concentrée sur moi-même, parce que j'ai pas eu de nouvelles choses à apprendre, pas à confronter en fait. Et pendant cette période, en fait, pendant le Covid perso, je suis arrivée vraiment au max de mon anxiété, au max de lack of confidence pour moi, genre en confiance en moi-même. Ça a été vraiment une période hyper dure pour moi, par exemple. Et du coup, le fait de ne pas être partie au Mexique, ça m'a vraiment fait affronter mon anxiété. Et c'est ce qui a changé le plus pour moi. Et c'est ce qui fait qu'aujourd'hui, je suis là à parler. C'est que la petite voix qui est dans ma tête, genre, je l'ai shut down. Et en parlant de mindset, c'est ça le mindset. Et tu vois, le Covid, ça a été à la fois une période très compliquée, mais à la fois, ça nous a permis de tout changer. Et de nous améliorer en fait en tant que personne.
That's amazing. Et comme je te dis, I'm really, really so happy that you've taken this initiative. It's so beautiful. Really, really, really so happy. Et continue. Aussi, it's, I think, when you struggle the most that you also grow the most. So,
ça c'est sûr.
Yeah.
Et est-ce que tu as des périodes d'anxiété ou de stress importants? Est-ce que parce que tu vois, en fait, on ressent, si je peux analyser un peu là, enfin, ce que je ressens, c'est que à la fois, t'as vraiment cette confiance en la vie et en la spiritualité qui te donne confiance et qui t'enlève cette peur, j'ai l'impression. Mais à la fois, est-ce que je pense que c'est général qu'on a tous ces moments de questionnement, je sais pas, du coup.
Yes, definitely. Tu as des moments de self-doubt. What is my self-worth? That, to me, usually comes when I feel like I'm not being the best version of myself, when I'm not optimizing myself as much as I could. I start getting quite anxious parce que I feel like I'm I'm not fulfilling the promises I made to myself. And I'm not gonna, to me, trust is very important. And if I make a promise, I'm going to go through with it, with my friends, with anyone. And to me, developing that with myself is just becoming so important. At the same time, creating a balance between fulfilling these promises while also taking the moment to rest sometimes is important. What gave me anxiety sometimes or made me stressed is when I felt like I didn't fulfill those. I was too hard on myself, en fait. That's the danger. If you're too hard on yourself, it's not good. You're gonna start beating yourself down. It gets self-destructive. You just need to, I think, come back to yourself at that moment and be like, okay, be kind, give yourself a hug, you're okay, reassure yourself once again. If you take life too seriously, at some point, that means there's a problem. Don't do that. When I find myself taking life too seriously, like, shit, I didn't do this, alors que I told myself I could do this. Now, today, I come from a place of acceptance where I'm like, I'm only human. I can only do as much as I can. I'm not a robot. I'm not a machine. I try my best, and that's what counts. So, yeah.
C'est super. En fait, je trouve que ce que tu dis, c'est toutes les personnes qui se retrouvent dans ça, parce qu'on a tous notre part d'anxiété. C'est vrai que l'un des remèdes de l'anxiété, c'est s'accepter, tu vois. Accepter que it's okay.
Yeah.
Et c'est ça. Et je trouve ça super. Alors, j'aimerais dire que Kawtar est la cofondatrice d'une marque de joaillerie.
Yeah.
Et franchement, quand j'ai vu le premier modèle, j'étais très impressionnée. Du coup, tu as créé cette marque avec ta sœur. Déjà, bravo, parce que collaborer avec sa sœur, c'est très spécial.
Oui, 100%. Yes.
Et j'étais vraiment impressionnée par votre travail. Et du coup, c'est quoi la genèse, comment vous êtes arrivé à cette idée, à vouloir créer cette marque? Et aussi, le slogan, c'est, je te laisse le dire.
Yeah, so wear your truth.
C'est super. Et en fait, je pense qu'on est tellement à se reconnaître dans le premier modèle. Et du coup, j'ai hâte que tu nous dises plein de choses sur ça et de t'écouter.
Okay. Well, déjà, Kenza and I grew up in a creative space. My mom is a jeweler, and my father has a company called VCOB, which is event and sound. It's event management.
Ah, trop bien.
Yeah, so, and he's also really into art, philosophy. I consider him to be a philosopher. He's like a little intellect. You sit down with him, and also he gets so passionate about different topics and the way he talks. So we really grew up in an environment where art is a way of being. And even our house, it was created by mom and dad, and so it was really custom made, personalized. And I guess automatiquement it was kind of fed on to us as well. Et being a creative person, although I'd like to say I believe all humans are creative. We all have that creative energy, and that's what makes us also different from other species. We were really able to cherish that, to nourish that even more through our education. Et coming back to Morocco pendant le Covid, I personally came with lots of drive and lots of dreams in my head. Big dreams of, I want to do this in music, and I'd like to do this and this and this. But when I came, it was kind of a cultural shock, actually, for me. And I was just like, okay. I have to take care of my mental health. I'm trying to stay present. And also, my priority right now, being in Morocco, is just focusing on my family. So maintenant, put your projects on pause. That's not so important. Focus on the family. So as we were focusing on the family, also being reunited the way we are today, Kenza is my sister. Kenza and I haven't been reunited for this long, ever since she left to the United States when she was 16 to go to Miami to finish high school. So it's been years. Du coup, also that's been a ride parce que in a sense, we were getting to know each other again, meeting new people. We both changed so much. And although, yes, we do FaceTime, it's still, when you live with a person, it's different. So, for the most part, we were just adapting. And then at a point, just talking about how we'd like to start something, just create something. During COVID, like, we have lots of free time. Why not make something out of it? At that point, it felt like, when we did have that conversation, it felt like there was a proper balance between family life and adaptation back in Morocco and such. To think about doing that. And since my mom is in the business, she's a jeweler, it was just like, you have the resources to create, so go for it. Et donc, Kenza and I were sitting one night and we're just like talking like, I'd really love to do something while we're here. I'd love for us to create something. Yeah, she was like, yeah, it would really be cool if we start a business. Yeah, what would we start a business in? Je sais pas, why don't we create jewelry? Okay, my mom, being just a hype woman, she's like, all right, let's do it. I'm here for you. So she's our mentor in that way, which is such a blessing, really. Et donc, it started like that, and we were just learning along the way. Since I study business, it kind of helps me also have some type of idea of how to apply the knowledge and get things moving, plus ou moins, although I'm still learning along the way, on improvise. But it came from a place of curiosity and wonder and love. Et aussi, when you collaborate with someone you trust so much, so with my sister, and someone that you've known for so long, you feel stronger. You really feel stronger. So your drive to succeed is multiplied. And that's the power of collaboration. The amount of things that we've succeeded in the world wouldn't be possible without collaboration. So, yeah, it's just... ça s'est fait très naturellement. And petit à petit.
Trop bien. Yeah. En fait, je suis assez impressionnée parce que j'ai l'impression à la fois que tu laisses la vie faire son cours, mais à la fois c'est grâce à ton mindset que inconsciemment et même consciemment tu te crées des opportunités, tu vois. Et j'ai pas l'impression qu'il y a un véritable stress par rapport à l'avenir, même on a des croyances qui nous stoppent, enfin qui nous empêchent de faire des choses. En fait, tu vois, tu grandis, Bon, le tonnerre, ça c'était pas le tonnerre.
Je pense que c'était la porte.
Ouais. En fait, tu grandis et c'est bon. Je trouve ça, en fait, je suis vraiment impressionnée parce que y a une certaine sérénité dans ta parole. Il y a plein de... Genre, ça c'est reposant, on se repose, on comprend. Et c'est comme s'il y avait rien de... En fait, la façon dont tu le racontes, c'est comme s'il y avait rien d'impressionnant. Mais à la fois, dans le fond, c'est tellement impressionnant parce que... D'ailleurs, je ne vous ai pas parlé de votre premier modèle, mais on va y arriver. Mais en tout cas, bravo, parce que je suis vraiment impressionnée. Et surtout par ce premier modèle qui est tellement révélateur et qui est tellement vrai et que je pense que tout le monde aimerait porter.
Thank you so much. Like, you're flattering.
Non, mais c'est vrai.
You're really flattering. Ouais, donc... For the models, we were just inspired by our community. Et I think as human beings on earth, pour moi at least, I have a responsibility autant que human to create and to share something that has value in the sense that it's constructive, que it's something beneficial. Donc, I was really holding on to that. Kinza and I were really holding on to that in creating our jewelry. It's like, we want to share our ideas about society, about the world we live in, through jewelry. And that's our way of creating a medium between our thoughts and ideas and the world we live in. Donc our first model, one earring being halal and one earring being haram. It's a match. Either you can I have halal, halal, haram, 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 halal. You choose how to combine.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's for you to choose. It's
Selon ton mood. Si aujourd'hui tu te sens halal, tu portes halal. Si demain tu te sens haram, tu portes haram.
exactement.
Je trouve ça trop bien.
Yeah. It's also unisex, by the way. So anyone, of course, if it's art, so anyone can wear it. But I just like to to underline that, just to say that you can come and get this jewelry, whether you're a female, a male, whatever you identify as. So, voila, halal haram, it could be representative of different things, of different topics. You can see it as the angel, the devil on your left and right shoulders. You can see it as a reflection of the society we live in, and in a way where you question what these words mean really in terms of society and what you think is prohibited and what you deem to be lawful. Just putting in question what morals are really applied through law, through people's way of being. Or it could be anything you want really, and that's the beauty of it. People interpret it the way they want to, and that's what it's supposed to do. But its true purpose is to raise a conversation, to make you think of something, of maybe a moment in the past related to these words, or as you said, or religion, but something that I would consider to be something more meaningful than just maybe our physical appearance or our ego. And yeah, just trying to go deeper and have a little conversation about the society we live in, what makes us the humans that we are, and how we define what halal and haram is. And yeah.
C'est trop bien. Du coup, on devra bientôt conclure ce podcast. J'ai deux questions pour toi. Du coup, on a parlé de beaucoup de choses, mais surtout de ce mindset that drives you vraiment. Et quels sont tes conseils pour que nos auditeurs et auditrices en fait trouvent un peu leur chemin, si je puisse dire ça. Enfin, si je peux dire ça.
Okay. But I think first of all, create a vision of yourself. Create a vision of yourself very clear in your mind, in who you want to be. And then create a sort of plan of, for example, what your best self would be doing, how they would be talking, what they would be reading. You have to renew yourself fully, to detach yourself from any belief you've chosen. Well, I don't think you've chosen to. Actually, you choose to believe. You subconsciously kind of accumulate in the way you are throughout the years. You need to detach yourself from that and see it from an objective point of view. Like, okay, the personality that I have today, the person that I am today, is just a consequence of my past experiences, my family, the community I was in, possibly religion, whatnot. Now, who do I want to be? You need to believe in yourself enough that you can do it. You need to talk to yourself and be like, I'm gonna do it. And you need to accept the discomfort of how different things are going to feel. As long as you're consistent and you create habits, vraiment creating habits is a strong one. You make sure to create habits that resonate with your best version of yourself or your ideal self, then you can do it and you will do it. Yeah.
Je trouve que ce conseil est super en fait, parce que tu visualises qui tu veux être, tu te crées tes habitudes et tu le deviens en fait, parce que tu arrives à visualiser la personne que tu as envie d'être. Parce que si tu n'as pas une idée de qui tu veux être, comment tu peux changer?
Exactement, you really have to know. Parce que if you just keep going somewhere without knowing what the end result is, you're really not going anywhere. You're rajir Allah. But if you have a specific image, like I want to be from point F, then you're gonna know how to get there. Yeah, you need to set a little plan, a little bit of structure, but then also experience life. And for me, don't aim to change, just aim to improve. Yeah.
C'est super. Merci beaucoup. Genre, j'espère que ces conseils vont vraiment vous être bénéfiques pour vous parce que je trouve que c'est quelque chose qu'on devrait tous apply sur notre quotidien en fait, appliquer sur notre quotidien, ça c'est sûr. Yeah. Du coup, on arrive sur la question signature du podcast. Du coup, Kawtar, est-ce qu'aujourd'hui tu te considères comme une adulte et comment tu y es arrivée?
No, I don't consider myself to be an adult.
T'es la première à le dire, c'est trop bien. Ah, pas la première, Claire, elle a dit oui et non. On va dire la première qui dit oui complètement, non complètement, que tu ne te considères pas comme une adulte, je trouve ça bien et original, tant mieux.
Yeah, but I don't understand this notion of being adult. Is it just you becoming more responsible? Like, to me, if people act too much like adults, to me it's just like a societal construct. To me, in my head personally, it's like a role because society is telling you to play, you have to act like this. But no, I'm like our hearts are playful and our souls are creative, and we have created these structures, but we're supposed to be just playful. Like, we're supposed to release our inner child really in the world. The older I get, the more connected I want to be back with that child and be playful in the world, and the more I want to live life more fully with the more knowledge I have. And I don't want to feel like an adult in the traditional sense. I feel like I'm learning more. That's it. But I would say I'm a child.
J'aime trop. Moi, je trouve que c'est bien de conclure sur ça. Et du coup, merci beaucoup à tous et à toutes pour votre écoute. J'espère que ça va vous plaire.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci à toi d'être là.
Thank you. Really.
C'est adorable. Gros bisous tout le monde.
Ciao.
Bisous.